Hey guys, I am here to talk to you about this, the 2022 VW Tiguan. Let's take a look. The trim I'm driving here is the SE 4Motion, so that's the medium trim, and this is King's Red Metallic, which is beautiful and new for 2022. They also have a new white color as well. Although the vehicle has the same engine as the 2020 version, they have tweaked the horsepower a little bit, so you might feel that if you give it a test drive. Also, they have improved the MPG, which is fantastic. Some of the other changes that are new for 2022 in the Tiguan are that they've made a lot of things standard. So one of which are heated front seats. Hallelujah! As a heated front seat enthusiast, I thank you, VW. I think that's fantastic. Unfortunately, ventilated seats are only available in the upper trims, but those are nice too. But man, we love our seat heaters. What they did change is that they put the drive mode selectors in front wheel drive, which is fantastic because now you can put it in sport mode. Hooray! So the changes that VW has made in this car for 2022 aren't that dramatic on the outside. You'll notice a few design changes, different front bumper, the LED headlights are standard, but really the changes are on the inside, which is great because it looks like it learned a lot from its brother, the ID.4. If you haven't watched my video on that one, the link is right here. I love that car. Automatic braking is standard in the Tiguan, both in forward and reverse, which is a great lifesaver. If you haven't driven with that function, I promise you'll appreciate it sooner or later. It's wonderful. The VW Tiguan has always been one of my favorite crossover SUVs, or compact crossover, whatever the hell they're calling them these days, because the bang for the buck on this vehicle is fantastic. It truly drives like a European car, but it is affordable, which is fantastic. Let me show you a little bit more. Now, where you really see the differences in the new Tiguan are in this interior. You'll notice that it has a leather wrapped steering wheel, which is fantastic. Also, it has haptic feedback, which is really nice. A lot of these cues I notice are coming from the ID.4, whose interface I really liked, and just feel really modern and frankly luxurious. There are 4 trims in the Tiguan. There's the S, the SE, the SE R-Line Black, and the SEL R-Line. The base price for the S is $25,995, and that's for the front wheel drive. It also comes with an all-wheel drive option. In fact, all of them come with an all-wheel drive option, except for the top of the line SEL R-Line, which only comes in all-wheel drive. Now, here's where it gets tricky. You know how the Tiguan became the deal of the century once they put in the third row? They're only making the third row now in front wheel drive. So that's a little bit of an issue maybe for some of you that live in snowy conditions and have lots of kids, but what they're telling me is people just weren't ordering them. So they stopped carrying it because there was just zero demand. Hey, they gotta make a buck. You can't blame them. Hey guys, okay, so now I'm in the higher trim, which is the SEL R-Line. So that is gonna level off around $36,595. And what are you getting for that? Frankly, I love the fact that they're ventilated seats. That's a thing for me. I love some of the design details. I also like the Fender audio system. But I thought I would go over some of those details with you. First of all, there's this ginormous panoramic sunroof, which I love. I love me a sunroof. I think they're great. Sometimes you have to be careful because if they're not tinted, they can do a little bit of sun damage. So that's just something to keep in mind. There's also some chrome trim in the interior. You'll notice a little bit around the steering wheel, along the dash. But again, the interior details on this vehicle are just so great for the amount of money that you're paying. And the fact that you have a full-size second row, which kind of with no compromises, is wonderful. In general, I still think the VW Tiguan is a great bang for the buck. I think it's really, really hard to beat. Ultimately, it really comes down to personal preference. This is a European car that drives like a European car, and the RAV4 never will be, and that's fine. So it really depends on what you want. For me, it's a great deal and a great option. Ultimately, the 2022 Tiguan is a lot what the previous generation was, which is a darn good deal. It's a lot of car for not a lot of money. Everybody can be comfortable in the back seat. You've got the third row option. It's got a great safety suite. The convenience packages are magnificent. And frankly, I think it looks great. So if you're interested in a compact SUV, I'd encourage you to take a look at this. But I know it's a really crowded segment and there are a lot of good cars in this category. Please subscribe to my channel and I will fill you in as I test drive more. Thanks so much.